Hello everyone, welcome to ISCOM 2020. This is Utkarsha Shivsharan from DSTS Mandal's College of Pharmacy, Solapur, presenting you the details regarding oral presentation. I hope we will have a wonderful and memorable session today. After this session, the learners will be able to create effective template in PowerPoint, organize the oral presentation, and present the oral presentation to the live audience. For every researcher, student, teacher, at least one situation comes where he or she has to present something to the live audience, which is nothing but the oral presentation. Few people are lucky enough that we have a natural skill or ability to connect with the audience. For others, public speaking is the area full of fear, anxiety, and all possible physical symptoms that occurs in a human body. Mr. Zen Falkus tells one story of his friend David. He was a good scientist. Due to autoimmunity problem, he lost his vision. But thanks to technology, he continued to serve as head of the department. After losing his sight, when he attended many presentations, he realized that there are two kinds of presenters. One, those who tell a story and uses slides as a supplement to their story, while others who make their slides, show them and comment on them. Being blind gives you a different perspective. No doubt, what he feels is very correct. We also love a presentation with story, and hence we get attracted towards movie instead of a class, isn't it? Anyways, now we will move towards how we can have a good oral presentation and the presentation which everybody will love and memorize. So here we will discuss regarding some basics of oral presentation. Oral presentation is a useful means of technical communication. It is a short talk on a set topic which will be either given or taken as a part of job, as a tutorial, or as a seminar. The purpose of an oral presentation is to present the subject content in an organized, concise, and effective manner to a live audience. It is nothing but delivering an address to audience. By oral presentation, you can sell your ideas or products easily. Oral presentation is having 4 different types. First is impromptu. It means no planning or practice. For example, in the college farewell party, all of a sudden your friends request you to go to the stage and say few words. What do you do the very first thing? Looking down, hiding your face, or saying no. Then somebody comes on the stage, says something, and he or she will be appreciated. But if you would have decided to talk, why you have not done it? After all, it was your farewell party in your college with your friends and teachers, where you were knowing each and everything about your friends and your college life. You could have done it. This you think when time or opportunity is gone. Next time, don't do this. Here are some tips. First, think for a second about what you are going to say. Second, keep your points brief and to the point. Third, take few seconds between thoughts to compose yourself. Next type is extemporaneous. It will be having loose guidelines which is not there in impromptu. For example, presentation of your research project in front of evaluator will be considered as extemporaneous. because you are going to use notes or your slides are going to guide you point to point, but you are using your own words for describing the slides. You are not going to memorize anything because the slides will become your clues for the next content. Third type is manuscript. Here we can take the example of reading of annual report. Here you are going to read every word from a pre-written speech. While reading from the paper, eye-to-eye contact will not be there. Hence, such type of presentations are not much effective. Last one is the memorized. This type of oral presentation depends upon the presenter's memory. Here, the presenter has to memorize it first and then utter it from an appropriate platform. As we know that it is very difficult to memorize all data or cross-references if you are going for a technical presentation. For example, elocution competition or MR presenting his product to the doctor. Both the persons are going to memorize all data completely and the same data will be presented. Here, eye-to-eye contact and confidence appears. It becomes effective. But if at a point you forget one point, then it will be difficult to manage. So, you can go ahead with related or further point because the script is not with the audience. Sometimes it may become monotonous or become artificial. But if the presenter is smart enough, this also can be overcome easily. Now here we will have a pause. Do you remember any presentation which was effective? Why do you think it was effective or what had made that presentation very effective? Now you can note down your answers and we will have wait, and after your writing finishes we will see the exact answers. Now I think we should proceed. We will see the answers. A presentation becomes effective because of three components. First is verbal. Verbal is what you say and how you say. If you are explaining unknown things or interesting things, then the audience gives the attention immediately. And vocal is how you say, the way you are presenting. That is, if you normally say good morning, it is normal wish. But on radio, if someone wishes good morning Mumbai, so it is the attracting one. So this is the difference in how we are saying something. So it attracts the attention of the audience. Next one is non-verbal. What you say without words is the non-verbal communication. It will be carried out through our body language. We say no, prem ki bhasha. But here for oral presentation, this will not work. But your energy, your enthusiasm and confidence will put effectiveness in your presentation. And last is the visual aids. Here the graphics or animations, or if you are using any model or chart for the explanation, it plays an important role in the oral presentation. So these three components, verbal, non-verbal and visual aids, makes always the presentation very effective. Now if you want to make your presentation effective, what we should do? For effective presentation, you should go for organize, visualize and practice. This is nothing but the planning, execution and impressing. Planning involves the content management and organizing the same in your presentation. Always outline your plan, which will be a helpful guide for the rest of presentation. Execution. It is the focus on the preparation of your presentation, that is using PowerPoint or other resources. This execution can be made effective by having attractive slides and which will be having readable fonts, various color combinations, use of graphics or animation. This can make your presentation effective. But impressing part is nothing but where your slides will not help you, but the way you are presenting, the mode of delivery will help you in this content, because there are some speakers, they deliver their talk without any material, without any presentation, but still their talk becomes effective because the good speaker always thinks about the delivery method or the way in which the message can be conveyed to the audience. Now we will discuss the different types of audiences. The very first type is client and customers. If you are doing oral presentation to a client, then you should focus on advantages of your product or your idea. You are supposed to put forth the comparison with the competitor, and your focus must be convincing them for buying it. Second is, in the organization, teachers or workers or students are asked to present some or the other part. Students are asked to deliver a seminar. Here, the audience are the people which we know, and the audience will be having some basic knowledge. So, you are supposed to focus on the work you have done and your results, or how your work is beneficial or how it is innovative. Next is, at technical conferences or workshops, professionally speaker has to deliver the content. The audience will be either from the same field or from the different field. So their knowledge regarding that particular concept will be considered in a mind, and accordingly the presentation will be prepared and it will be delivered. The last is the speech at the public places. Here, which things are to be focused, so these things will be pointed out clearly in the public places, and some point should not be raised, because in public places it may be difficult if you say something which can have a objection. So try to avoid such subjects when you are speaking in the public place. Now we will see some pre-presentation preparations. The very first thing you will do is the assessment of communication dimensions. The communication dimensions involves aim, audience, time, venue, etc. Before you begin, you should have a clear understanding of aims and purposes. For example, presentation on how to start e-pharmacy, then your presentation is different. If your purpose is to compare between retail and e-pharmacy, then presentation will be different. Regarding audience, we have already discussed. Then comes is the venue. What is the size of the room, number of attendees, sitting arrangement, these things we have to consider. Sitting arrangement you have to consider, because if you are knowing priorly the sitting arrangement, then you should not add content to the bottom of the slide, because the head of the person sitting in the first row is going to block that particular area, and it makes a point which will be creating a problem to the person sitting in the next row, and this will be a big problem for the person who is sitting in at the last row. If the room is dark, then you should use white text on a dark background, and if the room is bright, then you should use dark text on a white background. Second is preparation of presentation outline and preparation of graphic aids. These two things will be coming together almost. So while creating your presentation outline and the graphic aids, check that why you are performing a particular task. So if it is a class assignment, then look carefully at the instructions given by your teacher. Your speech must not be a mystery story. You should arrange your presentation with your strongest points first. If you are supposed to deliver a 15-minute speech, then from that 15 minutes, it should devote 12 minutes to describe experimental procedures and 3 minutes for analyzing the results obtained. So go to the point, because people are not interested how much your rats weighed. They are interested how the particular activity is proved. So try to focus on such points only. Then last one is the trial performance. For this, you should set a timer and deliver your speech to your co-worker or a family member, or if nobody is there, then you can deliver this to the best friend, that is your mirror. Once you are having right amount of content, make a video recording and analyze yourself. If you are planning to show a video clip or explanation of a diagram, actually do it while the camera is rolling, so that you know exactly how much it will take the time. If you know your conclusion, then put at least 90 seconds for the conclusion. Now next, while for preparation of the presentation or for the graphic aids, the important thing is the colors, because colors play an important role in our life. Each and every color speaks about many things. Warm color communicates energy, optimism and enthusiasm, while cool colors send a message of dependability, professionalism and peace. Red indicates passion, romance, anger. Orange indicates optimism, happiness and energy. Here, yellow indicates happiness, hope, while green indicates the fertility, nature, abundance, and like on, each color is speaking something. We are having primary colors, that is red, yellow and blue. We are having secondary colors and combination of primary and secondary colors. When the primary colors are mixed or secondary colors are mixed with white, then it creates tints. And these tints are lighter than the pure color. When a color is mixed with a gray, then you create tones which are duller than the pure color. And if a color is mixed with the black, then you will have a shades, and shades are darker than original. So, how to combine them together? Here is the answer. As in the earlier slide, just now we have discussed about the colors and the color wheel as well. So here one example is of combination of warm color. So these warm colors in this particular way, these can be combined. That is, next is the combination of warm colors. In particular range, you can have the combination of the warm colors. And if you want to create the complementary colors, then you must select the colors which sit opposite to each other. For example, warm color orange and a cool color blue. We can go for the highest contrast or lowest contrast. Highest contrast is ideal when you are going to deal with the graphics, and lowest contrast should not be used in the graphics. While preparing your slides, you must follow the 60-30-10 rule, that is 60% primary color, 30% secondary color and 10% accent color you should use for your slide presentations. Now we will see the typical time allotment for a presentation of 30 minutes. If you are having 20 minutes, then you can reduce the timing from 7 to 5 minutes to match the desired time. Many times, your introduction will help you to proceed easily on the main content. But if main content is more important, then you can reduce the time for your introduction. And many times in a thesis or in a project work, you might be having 3 different projects or 3 different areas which are to be focused. Then these major parts should be equally divided. So here we can have first major part, second major part and third major part. And if you are having only 2 major parts, then you will divide this timing into 2 equal parts. And your conclusion is having importance, hence keep the timing for the conclusion as well and for the question answer session. Try to focus on the conclusion and keep the reserved time for it. Then what to do when we are actually delivering the presentation? So very first thing is make eye contact with the audience. So for this, go ahead and write your speech so that you can read it. And if you become blank at a point, then you should have practice of your speech enough so that you can just overlook your write-up and you will be able to go ahead confidently. Then second one is engage with the audience. Pay attention to the audience. If you spend your energy worrying about what you are supposed to say next, you won't be able to pay attention to whether the audience can hear you or whether they are focusing only your projections. It is more boring to watch a presenter while he is logging into the computer, fiddle with the projector, hunt around for a light switches, etc. So be ready for your presentation prior to your scheduled time. Third one is important because your slideshow is not a speech. Don't read word to word with your nose, which will be buried in a paper, or looking at the slides only. Next one is watch the time. Suppose you are a speaker in a conference. If you are taking too much time than the prescribed one, then the next sessions gets affected, and because of this the audience loses the focus. And if you are having project presentation of 15 minutes, then your each second is equally important because you have to deliver your full contents in that particular time. So always have a watch on the time. And the last one is take the questions in the middle. Now always the question answer session is put at the last only. But if you are supposed to deliver a talk or a seminar for more than 1 hour or for 2 hours or 3 hour session is there, then to bring back the audience, you should ask in between questions as well. And if you are asking question and audience gives the answer, then it makes them feel smart that we are having a participation in the discussion and they get motivated for the same. Now we have discussed regarding the pre-preparation and delivering actual presentation. If now you have prepared the slides, everything is okay, but when you start actually the oral presentation, what happens? This is something what we have done it now. We have created our own presentation, planned is ready, your talk is ready, and now you are sitting or you are in front of audience. So what is happening is you are not comfortable and you feel that I can't. So from I can't we have to reach to I can. So for this the very first thing is calm your nerves, because you are more aware of your nervousness than the audience. Keep in mind that your nervousness will pass after few minutes. It is not going to remain for complete presentation. Realize that you are prepared, and the most important thing, keep in your mind that the audience is here present because they want to hear you, not to judge you. And although you will say that if we are presenting to the judges, then they are going to judge us. So at that time also you should keep in mind or consider the judges also as the audience, and this will motivate you or it will boost your confidence. Always say that everybody sitting in front of me is sitting only to hear me. Although if you will be feeling something, so you can have a walk around or you can go off by yourself for a few minutes, or else you can talk with someone for a few minutes. And very most important thing, take the several deep breath and exhale slowly. Second one is use your voice effectively. For the voice effectiveness, you have to focus on the volume, speed, pitch, articulation and non-fluencies. As per the volume, as per the need, volume can be raised, or to give the emphasis, sometimes the speed can be decreased. High or low pitch increases or decreases the attention. Accordingly, you should adjust yourself. Articulation can be enhanced during rehearsals. One more thing which will be covered in the rehearsal is the non-fluencies. If you have not practiced, it will be noticed very easily. Third one is use your body effectively. The very first thing will be eye-to-eye contact. As soon as you lose it, your presentation gets affected. To make it effective, maintain the eye contact. To remain calm, use your regular or natural gestures during the presentation. While presenting, don't block the screen, which will disappoint the audience, or do not have the hand lock position also. Sometimes it may happen due to other reasons like raining outside. People tends to focus on other things. So it will be your responsibility to hold them by having control on audience, by asking questions or making jokes, etc. Now, there are some factors which are going to affect your presentation. First is the content. You must be clear about your content which you are going to speak. Otherwise, you will be speaking which will be irrelevant, or sometimes it may be repetitive. Second one is your topic must be supported with the suitable examples which are going to make your presentation more effective. You must tell the short notes before you start your presentation. This creates the interest of everyone in the topic. Next is speaker's body language. It is the main factor that affects the oral presentation. Speaker having eye contact with the audience impresses the audience. Beginning and ending a presentation. Pay special attention to the beginning and closing of your presentation. Your beginning should be dramatic. It should capture the mind of audiences. Closing should be sum up of all ideas which was discussed. Language and words, both the things must be understandable. You must be able to answer the questions from the audience. Self-confidence will be making your presentation effective and putting impression in the audience. But although everything is going on as per the plan, something can go wrong. So these things you have to keep in your mind. First one is you are unsure. Everyone heard the question. You don't understand the question. You get a question that you have already answered. One member from the audience rejects your response and insists on restating his or her original points. So you should be prepared for such things as well, or you should keep these things in your mind when you are presenting any oral presentation. So what we have discussed is types of oral presentations, how to make your presentation effective, how to use different colors in your presentation, how to make your new template with different color combination and fonts, and what are the factors that are going to affect your presentation, and some tips for your presentation. So if you are having any questions, please enter your questions in the chat box. Here I will conclude my session by acknowledging Dr. R.Y. Patil sir for giving me the opportunity to deliver a talk on oral presentation. I will also thank Dr. Chitra Naidu madam for her continuous support and suggestions as well. I am also thankful to my colleague members for their valuable suggestions, and no doubt the audience who have patiently listened to my talk. Thank you.